Wakanda forever!
I'm Renee Knorr, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 Magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar. And we are back. Oh my goodness. We're so excited to be here with the Global Women Wealth Warriors, GW3 Global Society, with the man himself, Mr. Robby Wells. Not only we're excited to have you here with us, Robby, you are not only like a dear friend. It's been about 5 years now, Robby, since I've seen you last. And when we first met, you were running for president of the United States. And by the grace of God, you are back with us for a year 2024. You're running for the president's seat again. Born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are so excited that you have said yes to receive your Lifetime Achievement Award. So, Robby Wells, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? We are here live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, as well as we're live right there in the clubhouse.
Renee, I am doing wonderful, and it is great to be here with you and all of your listeners today. I'm coming to you just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina at Lake Wiley. I'm actually home today. I've been on the road a good bit lately with the campaign, but just came back from Houston, Texas, where I was with U.S. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee at a Breaking Limitations launch party, which empowers women, which is right along with what you do. And the CEO of Breaking Limitations, Joyce Melendez, is also part of the campaign. So it's somebody that I definitely want to get you in touch with.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting all of those visionary leaders such as yourself. You know, it's amazing to see how you have truly evolved. I had an opportunity of working with you on your campaign, and what an amazing accomplishment we were able to do. I love when we went to the church. Remember, we went to the church and visited those beautiful kids. And then also we did something else. It was out with the Brave Stadium. What was that project that we were doing that day?
It was something with the children. I remember they were all dressed up in different costumes or whatever. That was a wonderful event that we did. And then we did another event. I don't know if you remember this, with some World War II veterans.
Yes. Oh my God. That was I think it was the Malia Hotel that's right there off of, was it East Peachtree or something like that? Up, I remember that. Yeah.
It was a banquet. It was a
Yeah.
banquet they were having. Yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, and I love the fact that we also did your we also did your PR for your whole cover image
Oh yeah.
recap with Mr. Donald Wilkins, alongside with our company helping you to do some branding there.
Oh
And my
yeah.
goodness, watching you walk the street like the GQ man that you are. We had so much fun, Robby. It was so much fun. Well, I'm excited to see now you get ready to go into the next level, and share with us why is this so important. And I want to say this too. Congratulations on becoming an author.
Oh
Oh
well,
my
thank you.
goodness. And I want to know the heartbeat behind why now? Why did you write this book? And the title within itself, not only has it been, I call it like one of those shockers, but also it's definitely to raise up that awareness. So talk to us about those areas. The author, and why now?
Well, Renee, just to let you know, I've always uh, been one that had I guess you would say, a bucket list. And so,
Life list, Robby. We say life list.
life list. Okay,
Yeah.
life list. Well, 115 things that I wrote down that I wanted to do right out of college. Okay, my life list. And out of those 115 different things that I wanted to do, I've done 108 of them now. Okay. Now there's still a few of them that are in place. One of them is to create an environment that promotes world peace.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is to be the president of the United States and be able to work with world leaders to do that. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. And since I've seen you last, I mean, things have really taken off. You remember when it was just God and me, okay? When I
Yes, I
first
remember
got
that.
started, I'd go show up and speak at events, and there'd be 5 people there, and 3 of them would be my family, and 2 of them would be homeless people. I mean,
Mm.
seriously, that's a true story. But I just kept on going. And then a few years ago, I was invited to speak out in Los Angeles, and I was thinking there was going to be about 20 people there. Well, I got there and it was 20,000. And it was all because I didn't quit. And then from there, people saw that I could speak in front of people. So I was awarded an ambassadorship with the International Human Rights Peace Commission. They started sending me all over the world. I spoke in India 3 times. I spoke in Jinan, China, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. I've spoken in Milan, Italy, all over the United States now. But it's all because I'm telling you, for anybody out here listening right now, and you've got major dreams and major goals, dreams are just that. And if you're not going to work on them and make them your goal, then go back to sleep, because all they are is dreams. But you can take those dreams, make them goals, and put a plan of action into place. And no matter how lofty they are, if you never quit, those dreams, those goals will come to you. Hopefully, that's what people are going to see when they read the book, Touchdown America, from champion to shame to contender. Because you see, that's the way life is, Renee. There are mountaintop experiences, there are deep valleys, and there's places in between. That's just the way life is. No matter how good the situation is or how bad the situation is, keep moving forward. That's what I hope people get from this book. And literally, I tell the good and I tell the bad about my personal experiences. And a lot of people say, well, what do you think about losing? Well, looking back on it, just like Michael Jordan would say, all of those losses is what made him a champion. So I don't call them true losses. I call them life lessons. And there's a bunch of them in this book.
Absolutely love that, Robby. When you shared with us, I'm going to take you back and then we're going to go forward. You wrote down that list of 175, and you've already been able to accomplish 108. I'm going to challenge. It's time for you to up that list, okay? Up that
Right.
list. My dear friend, I call him my dear friend, Mr. Steve Harvey, one of our mentors of all times. He talks about that list. Oprah Winfrey talks about that list. You know, successful people always have to have that list. And I just truly, truly love that. And congratulations to you for not only being able to get those things accomplished, but, you know, we talk about this also, staying the course.
Right.
Staying the course. I know you come from a huge coaching background as well. And in order to become the champion, you got to trust the process. And you just have to stay consistent, keep showing up, and perseverance truly get you on the other side. So congratulations to you,
Thank you.
Robby. And I want to say this also, your mom, I'm putting a big old heart up right here because I know how much you love the relationship you and your mother have. Is just incredible. So as it stands right now, a little birdie told me that you were trying to get mom connected. Is that correct? With a longtime friend that she knew for years? Is that you? Were you doing that for mom?
True story. This really
Okay.
happened a little
All
over a
right.
month ago. My mom, who is 89 years young, going on 90, she
Wow.
she received flowers. And the flowers were from a man that she had dated in high school, her very first love,
Okay.
and she had not seen him since 1951 when he joined the Navy.
Are you
Okay,
serious? Wow.
it had been 72 years. So when the flowers came, there was a card, but there was no phone number. So I looked at the address, and it was outside of DC. I'm in DC a good bit now. And I told my mom, I said, the next time I go up there, I'm just going to go scout it out. The gentleman was 2 years older than her, which would put him at 91. So I didn't know what I was going to find. I didn't know if he was going to be in good health or if he was not, whatever. But I did have an address. Well, I went and I drove to his home, beautiful place, knocked on the door. This man answered the door, looked like he was about 70, and I asked for the lieutenant commander, retired of the U.S. Navy, because that's what this guy was. He says, well, I'm him. I said, you can't be. You don't look old enough. He says, no, I'm him. So I told him who I was. He invited me in. I got him on the phone with my mom. And then just this past weekend, this 91-year-old man, retired lieutenant commander, U.S. Navy, that dated my mom literally 72 years ago, drove from his home 10 hours away to visit with my mom last weekend and take her out on a first date. How about that?
Ooh, I'm so excited for mom.
Oh,
Guys, put
yeah.
some hearts up in the chat for that. You know, we always talk about this. No such thing as age. There's no such thing as that at all. It's all about the heart and soul. As long as we got a heartbeat, we got to keep on living. I'm so proud of you being able to do that for your mother.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know you guys have such a great relationship, and congratulations also for being, you know, being there for her, because I'm sure that sparked all types of ignitement, energy inside of mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And she was able to go back. And of course, they visited all last weekend. And I had to leave the kids alone because I had to fly to Houston. But they did. They had a grand time. They really did.
Well, I'm so excited for you. You know, when you were sharing with us that you've been able to speak on these different stages, you know, and again, you know, earlier we were talking about one of our dear friends, Mr. Rob Angel, and I know you know him very well.
Yes.
He's the creator of the Pictionary game, and how he started this simple idea, and now that simple idea had led him to over 38 million copies of that game being sold. Just like with yourself, you saw that there was a need for us to really do something about the economy, to do something about what's been taking place. You know, we call it the at the White House. We know for sure we've been going back and forth, and I must say, oh, it's been so many different changes. To be honest with you, Robby, I'm gonna let you know, and I don't have a problem with saying this. My television stays off most of the time because it's sometimes it takes the energy away from us, you know. And I realize as change agents, we have to still do our part, whether the presidential candidate decides what they want to do, whether it's a blue or a white decision, it doesn't matter for us, because we know as humanity, we still have to do what's right. As humanity, as humans, we have to make that decision. And I'm glad that you stepped out on faith to do something about, just how you were looking and how you were seeing things. So share with us why.
Well, thank you, Renee. Well, of course, I was an educator and a coach for 20 years. And because of that, I see a lot of things that need to occur here in the United States. We can just do so much better. We've got a major problem here in America right now with the gun violence in the schools. And I've actually got a plan called Vets for Kids, which will eliminate all gun violence in all schools. How? By employing over 500,000 veterans. We will screen them, train them, make sure we've got the right ones in place. And we're going to put them in every school across this country as guardians for our children. On the south side of Chicago, some of the schools there are already doing something similar. And these veterans are actually escorting these children back and forth from school to home and from home to school. And it's cut down on the gun violence major in the south side of Chicago. So we want to do this across the entire country. And I've also got a plan that will eliminate the student loan debt. I've got a plan that will make college education free all the way to a bachelor's degree. We're the only Western industrialized nation that does not have free college education for our citizens. We're going to change that. My plan also with the healthcare industry, think about this. Out of every $6, one out of every $6 in the United States goes to healthcare. Think about that. 1/6 of our economy is healthcare. That's not what healthcare should be about. So my plan actually makes healthcare free. We had the Affordable Care Act that came out a little over 10 years ago with President Obama. Okay, but now it's become unaffordable again. So my plan actually makes healthcare free. My plan also embraces the fact that technology, Renee, is going to keep progressing. And at the way it's progressing, within 15 years, 75% of the jobs that are out here right now, they are going to be eliminated and gone because of robots and AI. And for those of you on here that are laughing at that and thinking, oh, he's crazy, Google McDonald's robotic stores in Texas. There are already 100% robotic stores in the state of Texas right now. It's going to happen. So because of that, I'm embracing that. We can't slow down the technology. It's going to be here whether we like it or not. So if the jobs are going to be gone, I am proposing a universal basic income for every American at $10,000 per month, not per year, per month. And we know how we're going to pay for it. And it's a completely new system that we're going to have to go to, whether we do it now or whether we do it later. It's going to occur.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you addressing some of those important issues, especially where it relates to not only with the artificial intelligence, how it's taking us to another level. You have to look at it kind of like the pros and the cons, but truly you have to be prepared. And one of the other things, even just by going over, I traveled over to Dubai for the expo.
Yes.
And we were there 2000, I guess it was a year ago. So we were able to enjoy just so many facets of ways of how the economy is moving, sustainability, and as you mentioned, definitely robots. The robots were the ones that was greeting us as we were walking through the establishment. They're like, hello, and how are you doing? I actually recorded them as opposed to humans. So yeah, we're definitely being dehumanized as it stands every day. So we have to not only be able to embrace change, we have to work towards being ahead of change. I'll say this too, Robby, when you think about the movies that Mr. Will Smith did, I, Robot, alongside with, there's about 3 other movies out there that he did. It wasn't that he was ahead of the time. He was just preparing us for what's getting ready to take place.
Correct.
And that robot that he had in the movie is the ones that we're seeing everywhere now, everywhere. So not only is it important for us to educate our young leaders of how to adapt to change, but how to be proactive for change. And that's something that's important. You know, when you talked about the stimulus, I think right now the government is dropping every week I see, okay, I'm going to give you $6,000 towards your health insurance. I'm going to give you this kind of money. This is something that they probably should have been doing in the first place anyways, right? Because we
Correct.
know certain places already have free health care. It's not like it's anything special. When you go over in Europe, they have health care. You're going to UK, they have health care. Why in the United States we had to pay for it in the first place? So that was something that we needed to have change, and now they're focusing on giving us an incentive. So I'm happy that you're definitely addressing those issues, because those are some things that truly need to have attention, pay attention. And I will say this also, just stand aware, stand awoke and aware. That's probably something that is truly important in our age and in our time.
Well, Renee, yes, you're exactly right. And I'm going to address another issue that no one else seems to be wanting to tackle, and that's our homeless rate in the United States. And just like Steve Harvey and just like Tyler Perry, that lived in their car for a while they were birthing out their dream, their goal. Okay, they literally did that. Look at their story. I've been there. I've actually had to live in my car for a little while I was doing that. And I look at the 350,000 on any given day people here in the United States that are homeless. Now, if you look at the top 5 or the top 6 states, 5 of them are the West Coast states: California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, Hawaii. Okay. We've got 350,000 that are homeless, but we have over 500,000 churches, charitable organizations, 501c3s right here in the United States. I am actually challenging each one of these churches, charitable organizations to build one tiny home. You can do those for less than $10,000 a month. We're doing that through the Rise Up Foundation. But if everyone will build one, we can eliminate homelessness very quickly. We can put up Rise Up neighborhoods, literally, and have Rise Up Los Angeles, Rise Up Phoenix, Rise Up Seattle, Rise Up San Francisco, so forth and so on, and we can eliminate homelessness.
I absolutely love that. I love that idea. You know, one of our leaders, it's like interesting because Malika Starr, we were just talking about in regard to living in your car, you know, with Steve Harvey alongside with Tyler Perry. I mean, hey, we had to do it, right?
It's in my book.
Do it, okay?
It's in my book.
I remember, Robby, it was like I was driving from Atlanta to New Orleans, and my daughter's like, "But mom, why don't we pull over?" Well, she couldn't understand that mom at that time didn't have enough money to pull over, so therefore we can go into a hotel.
Right.
So what mom did, she kept driving. She kept driving so I can get us somewhere, right? And lo and behold, I fell asleep at the wheel of the car, Robby. I wind up hitting another car. And God blessed us because there was no damage to our car and there was no damage to the car that we hit. But I literally had to slow it down. I literally had to regroup. And so what you're sharing with us, a lot of people don't understand what we have to go through sometimes. But you know what is needed in order for us to be able to stay not only true to the cause, but also keep that humility. That humility truly helps you. I like what you said also. It's not so much about what you have to go through. And if you have to go through it, it's a learned opportunity, right? Learned lessons is what you shared with us earlier today. And I'm just so grateful to have you here. We're excited that we're going to be meeting you for the 2023 Power to Soar Leadership Conference. You're going to be one of our keynote speakers, as well as you're going to be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. And we're excited to have you here. Oh my goodness. I'm giving you a big hug already, okay?
Give you one back.
Yes. You know, and I want to continue on with this dialogue. You know, one of our other leaders, her name is Janet Alvarado. And Janet Alvarado speaks highly about those small homes. And if you recall, Tupac already stated, we have enough money in the world and we have enough food in the world that no one should ever go homeless nor should anyone go without having food. And that is so true. That is so true. So let's make sure we do that. I'm all for it. Where we are in relationships with making our stance. This year we're benefiting the Sharon Ringo Foundation, and that's an organization. I had the pleasure of meeting the one and only Miss Sharon right there in Tanzania, Africa, last year. She was 11 years of age, and as it stands right now, oh my goodness, she's 12 years of age, but she's grown and she's evolved. And just like yourself, she's been able to speak on several different stages. I think the largest audience is right there in Cairo, Egypt, with over 10,000 people, allowing her voice to be heard. And we're grateful to be ambassadors, but the sustainability side is something that we have, that initiative that we're going to be driving right along the line in helping those to get out of poverty, to get into homes. Because when I was there in Tanzania, one of my opportunities of being able to go into the houses of at least more than 30 women. And one of the things I noticed, everybody was sitting on the floor. They wanted to pull me up a chair. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm going to sit right here on the floor, right there with you all, because that's what you do. So we're all the same. So we not only were able to bring about hopes for those women, we truly was able to help them change their trajectory and how they see themselves as well. So I'm excited, Robby. I'm looking forward to us being able to partner up on these big initiatives, and we're looking forward to seeing you in August.
Well, thank you, Renee. And that's one thing I've always admired about you. You try to meet people where they are. You don't try to say, well, we do things a better way. No, you meet them exactly where they are. That's why you sat on the floor with them. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, with these Rise Up neighborhoods, giving someone a home is just the first. That's just the first step. We've got to incorporate these people back into society, get them the health care, the mental health care sometimes that they need as well. Within the neighborhoods, we're actually going to put in those health care facilities. And then on top of that, do vertical farming right there within those neighborhoods, and let the people that live there actually run these farms, which will not only feed the people in those neighborhoods, but literally feed everybody in their community.
Absolutely love that. Absolutely love it. I feel that not only is this so needed, but I'm glad that you're doing this at this time. Skip Martin, the lead singer for Kool and the Gang, as well as the Dash Band, he will be a part of this year Power to Soar Leadership Conference as well.
Celebration.
Yeah, celebration. That's right, celebration. But one of the things that he was able to do as well, with People Get Ready. People Get Ready, that's the song that he not only, I say he brought it back, but he brought it back with so much heart and soul, so much energy, with 29 artists, including Stevie Wonder, Dougie Fresh, Taylor Dane, Ray Parker Jr., and so many others that poured their heart and soul into the song. Not only are we going to get ready for you, Mr. Robby Wells, we're truly going to get ready for all of our Lifetime Achievement Award recipients for the 2023 Power to Soar Conference. Not only do you want to be there with us with the Chateau Elan, my goodness, the award-winning Chateau Elan. You can't just say Chateau Elan without saying the award-winning, luxurious Chateau Elan. We're grateful that is our host venue, but we're looking forward to wrapping our arms around you, Robby Wells, and truly, we will have about 30 of our young leaders that's going to be participating in this year's experience. So you'll get an opportunity to pour into them as well. And please bring those books. Oh my goodness. Because we have our Meet the Authors after we do our golf tournament. Now I have to ask you, Robby, are you a golfer by chance?
Well, back when I was in college, I went to Furman University and played football there. But in the off season, we would sneak on the back nine every day. And the golf pro knew it. He didn't care. He was like, yeah, y'all have fun. Because it was late in the afternoon. But when you play every day, you actually become pretty decent at anything.
That's right.
So I was pretty decent back in the day when I was in college. But it's been a good long time. I still go out to like Top Golf and I'll hit every now and then. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the golf tournament. That'll be fun.
Ooh-wee, I cannot wait to see you in your action as well. Well, Robby, we're looking forward to you being a participant of this year's conference. And I know for sure you're going to be one of our keynote speakers as well. And I am just grateful that you have stayed the course. Not only have you been able to stay awake, but you've been taking action. And that's the key with any successful leader, the consistency. You mentioned Michael Jordan earlier. And not only was Michael Jordan able to fail many of times, but if he would not have had those failures, he would not be, as you said, the greatest successful basketball player of all times today.
Exactly right. That's
So it's not
exactly
about
right.
how many times you fail, it's about how many times you keep rising up. So therefore you can wake up and
You know, and I'll
yourself.
give you another little story that happened to me simply because I did not quit, Renee. And this
Okay.
is also in the book. But back in 2019, the summer of 2019, 4 years ago, right before the pandemic, there was about 20 Democrats running for president that you saw on TV. I was not one of the ones you saw on TV because I was not a congressman, a senator, a former vice president, or a billionaire. So they had the Democratic convention in Columbia, South Carolina. Even though I'm from South Carolina, I'm like, they're not going to let me speak. So I actually had a speech that morning that I prepared and I was giving in Atlanta, Georgia at the Sheraton Hotel downtown. There was about 100 people there. One of my friends was with me and says, they're going to call you from the convention today. They're going to want you to speak back in Columbia. And I thought my friend was just absolutely crazy. Do you know that after I spoke that morning in Atlanta, I got a phone call from the chairman of the Democratic convention. Said, hey, we want you to speak. Can you get here in an hour? I was like, no, I'm in Atlanta, but if you can let me speak a little later in the day, I'll get in the car right now and I'll come. And so sure enough, the chairman said, well, if you can get here by 4, we'll let you speak second to last and it'll be on national TV on NBC. And I had tears in my eyes, Renee, because I've been working hard for that.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I said, but I have one question. Who am I leading up for? Who's the last speaker? The chairman said, Vice President Biden. I was like, wow.
Wow.
So there was my opportunity, kind of like Steve Harvey that time when he actually finally broke through and was allowed to perform at Showtime at the Apollo.
Yes.
Okay. Very, very similar. So sure enough, I made it. I made it within 15 minutes. I got there. There's 3 U.S. Marshals waiting on me in the parking lot. One marshal stands in front of the car, says, get out. You don't have time. You speak next. Yeah. De Blasio, the mayor of New York, was speaking at that time, and I was going on right after him. I went in. They marched me straight down the middle aisle. People are looking around. What is going on? They run me backstage, and there was all the candidates. They were sitting there on a semicircle of sofas, and they ignored me because they didn't know me. Of course, they all knew each other from Congress and the Senate. And so I just said my little prayer, dear God. I just drove. I don't even have a speech prepared, but I've been working for this for a good long time. Just give me the words to speak. And then this stagehand comes right up to me, says, you're up. And so I went on stage. I spoke. When I'm done, everybody's on their feet. They're cheering. I'm coming down the ramp behind the stage. Joe Biden's coming up the ramp, and he's looking at me like, what is going on? So anyway, it was my moment. It was my moment that I call it my 2004 Barack Obama moment, when nobody knew who he was. He spoke at the convention, and then everybody was like, that's the next guy.
You were ready. You were ready. And when that opportunity presented itself, you took your shot. I just love that story. I love that story, and lo and behold, Vice President Joe Biden, now he's the president. Come on now. And that's the key right there. Skip Martin received an award by Joe Biden as well for this year for his accomplishments with the young leaders. So I'm super excited to bring you all together. This is going to be so powerful, so powerful. And
the fact of the matter that you both love playing golf. You know, Skip, he plays he plays a really good game.
Well,
And I'm looking
well,
forward to
I
seeing,
don't.
you
I,
know what?
I don't. So, if you think that I'm Tiger Woods, I'm not Tiger Woods. I'm Jerk Nicholas.
No problem, no problem. And let me say this, even with Tiger Woods, he still don't always have the best game, all right? But as long as you still come and just really for socializing, anyways, I think it's
Sure.
going to be phenomenal. Well, thank you, Robby Wells. Thank you for not only just being the man of the hour, but also thank you for your leadership. Thank you for staying consistent and evolving to your next level of greatness. And we're looking forward to seeing you not only August the 17th through the 20th, but also as that candidate for the president for 2024. Please let everybody know how they can get in contact with you, and let's leave them with words of wisdom that only Mr. Robby Wells can do.
Well, thank you, Renee. Yes, everybody listening, you can go to Rise Up with Robby, riseupwithrobby.com. Spell Robby with a Y, riseupwithrobby.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll get all the different social media links. On TikTok right now, we're getting millions of views on some of the video clips. So we are gaining some traction. But I want to leave everybody with this. We've heard "Make America Great Again," but I venture to say, has it ever really been great for everybody at one time? Think about this. Native Americans were forced off their land and onto the Trail of Tears, where millions were slaughtered. African Americans were kidnapped and brought here. Was it ever great for those groups of people? Was it great for African Americans through the Jim Crow era, through even today, where the black man and the brown man, they're afraid to walk down the street in major cities in fear of retribution from police officers? I venture to say this, America. We will achieve true greatness as a nation once the lines of separation that have divided us are completely erased. Whether you are black or white, young or old, male or female, a member of the LGBTQ community, whatever your religion may be, whether you are a Democrat, Republican, or an independent, we're all very unique in this country. We can celebrate our differences because we have one common bond. We are all Americans. It's time for us to lay aside our differences, begin working together, hand in hand and side by side. It's time for us to stare down the fear of our differences with the face of courage. Thank you, Renee.
Oh my goodness. I love you, Robby Wells. Thank you so very much. And I'm looking forward to us connecting on August the 17th, 2023, Power to Soar Leadership Conference right there at Chateau Elan. Guys, if you haven't already purchased your tickets, please do so. So not only you can get an up close and person conversation with Mr. Robby Wells, but also get an opportunity to connect with so many like-minded individuals that will be in attendance for this in-person 3-day 7-event experience. Thank you guys so very much for joining the Global Women Wealth Warriors alongside the GW3 Global Society. We look forward to seeing you. Not only do we look forward to seeing you, we want to make sure you keep those heads up, the shoulders back, and make sure you go blaze the universe. Why? Because the world needs another game changer. And that game changer is you. We look forward to seeing you on the other side of your greatness. Thank you again. Bye for now.
Wakanda forever!